Good evening and welcome to Nationwide Today. I am Elizabeth Omori. We are starting a little behind schedule due to the live coverage of the closing ceremony of the Joint Executive Legislative Leadership Retreat. The Senate has received requests from President Muhammadu Buhari to present the 2021 budget before a joint session of the National Assembly on Thursday, 8th of October 2020. President of the Senate, Hamid Lawan, read the executive communique shortly after it reconvened for Tuesday's plenary.
To formally present the 2021 appropriation bill to the joint session of the National Assembly. While I look forward to addressing the joint session, please accept, Mr. Senate President, the assurances of my highest regards. Yours sincerely, Muhammadu Buhari.
Serious attention is being channeled towards the National Water Resources Bill 2020 as the Nigerian Society of Engineers says it is taking a professional look at the bill and enlightening Nigerians on the gains of the bill when passed into law. The NC President, Babagana Mohammed, said this after meeting with the Minister of Water Resources at the Minister's headquarters in Abuja. Oluseyi Adiagbo tells us more.
Babagana Mohammed is the 32nd President of Nigeria Society of Engineers, NLC, an umbrella organization for engineering profession in Nigeria. He believes the NLC is in the best position to give a detailed account of Nigeria's infrastructure. He says it is time for Nigerians to ignore all bias to the National Water Resources Bill 2020, whether political, tribal or religious, and pay attention to the facts as explained by professionals.
We have not seen anything. All these people are saying people's lands are going to be claimed, people's houses are going to be taken, people are going to pay money. I have not seen where all these things are. The bills are clear, they are on the table.
Though this meeting is for familiarization, discussions also focused on the controversy surrounding the National Water Resources Bill 2020. Minister of Water Resources Suleiman Adamu blames the current orders hindering the process of the bill on lack of proper education on its import and prospects for the country.
One of the components of it was the need to create a wash fund. With a wash fund, there can be a way to support the states in addition to all the things that we're doing. So if you're advocating why I should throw away this bill, you are throwing away an opportunity and depriving Nigerians of an opportunity for better financing of the water sector to improve the water supply and sanitation situation.
Suleiman Adamu further explained that the protection of Nigeria's water resources, as well as its development, conservation, management and control, would aid in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, among all the benefits. In Abuja, Oluseyi Adiagbo, NTA News.
Into flood matters, the efforts of Niger State in becoming a major sugar-producing state hits a setback following a ravaging flood that destroyed sugarcane plantations in the state and displaced communities. This is coming as the Niger State government commences the payment of compensation and relocation of people prone to flood along River Niger.
Mokwa is one of the largest sugarcane producing local government areas in Niger State. The people cultivate both local and industrial canes, which have over the years been contributing largely to the livelihood of the inhabitants. The ravaging flood this year visited the local government and destroyed all the available sugarcane and rice plantations in the area. Sunti is the worst hit area, and that is where the multi-billion naira sugar company is located. The crew got to Sunti and other communities in the evening due to lack of accessible road.
We are using boat to carry us across.
The whole community is surrounded by water. Niger State government says sugarcane worth more than 60 billion naira and other investment were lost to the flood at Sunti alone.
The flood has been excessive, and definitely a lot of support will be required to assist those communities. A lot of support because they've lost their livelihood completely.
In the meantime, the Niger State government says it's adopting a strategy towards convincing the people living along River Niger to relocate.
Those communities that already identified, and the state government has paid compensation to them. Some of them, they are already in their new resettlement.
In another development, all the hydroelectric dams in the country are in good shape without any form of threat from the ravaging floods in the country. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
It's time to pause here and join Dotun in Lagos for more reports on Nationwide. Hello, Dotun.
Thank you, Elizabeth. As Nigeria celebrates its Diamond Jubilee, talking about the nation's environmental track record is imperative and should be on the cards to show how far Nigeria has come in certain areas, her challenges and success indicators. In line with this, environment correspondent Jennifer Igwe takes a look at Nigeria's environmental progress and projections.
Since independence in 1960, Nigeria's economy has witnessed a continuous and checkered growth. The rapid development has a price, and one that is also footed by the environment with conspicuous impact.
The little of the intact environment that is left shows the potential, really, of the Nigerian environment and how rich and bountiful it is, because we have unique, beautiful, and diverse landscapes.
At independence also, challenges like increasing environmental pollution, massive loss of forest, urban planning issues, explosion in population and its effect on infrastructure, erosion, and the myriad of ecological blows from climate change impact, among other factors, were almost non-existent, unlike today.
One would have expected that large-scale agriculture would mean cutting down trees, destroying everywhere. But it didn't happen, because the colonial governments had places reserved as forest reserved across the entire country, and they were all properly managed.
After the independence till June 1988, Nigeria responded to most environmental problems on an ad hoc basis and some aspects of the criminal code on environmental infringement. In 1988, however, the aftermath of the cocoa incident, where toxic waste materials from Italy were illegally imported and dumped at cocoa community in Delta State, led to the creation of a comprehensive national policy on the environment and, consequently, the Federal Environmental Protection Agency, FEPA. In addition, the government enacted the Harmful Waste Act 1988 to deal specifically with illegal dumping of hazardous waste. FEPA and other relevant departments in other ministries were later merged to form the Federal Ministry of Environment in 1999.
The good news, though, is that we have recently embarked on our 25 million tree planting project, which was inspired and promised by our president.
In spite of the many environmental challenges facing the nation today, environmentalists are of the view that many gains have been recorded and that the nation is making progress. In Lagos, Jennifer Igwe, NTA News.
As the COVID-19 pandemic continues to affect the education sector, thus creating challenges, the need to enhance revised learning becomes imperative. The way to actualize this were brought to the fore on the event of World Teachers' Day in Lagos. Nosa Usla reports.
A report from UNICEF in 2020 showed that children around the world appreciated their teachers for sacrificing their time and lives to teach them during and after COVID-19 pandemic. World Teachers' Day 2020 is an occasion to celebrate the profession of teaching across the globe. The theme for World Teachers' Day 2020 is Teachers Leading in Crisis, Reimagining the Future. Amid the COVID-19 pandemic, there has been a rise in challenges faced by already burdened education system.
When they first dreaded this COVID-19 last year, people did not take it serious. And I want to say, COVID-19 is a war. It's a biological warfare. You know, during the time of war, you will see that the school will not work. That tells you we are in a serious war. And that is why you can see that teachers were not left out.
we as father, as mothers, counselor, manager, doctor of schools, I want them to continue in that spirit God has given us to ensure that we do our best, especially to observe these COVID-19 protocols.
UNESCO announced the 5th of October as World Teachers' Day in 1994. The day is celebrated by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, along with United Nations Children's Fund, International Labour Organization and Education International. In Lagos, Nosa Osula, NTA News.
And that's it from here. It's now back to Elizabeth for the continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you so much, Dotun. Education experts are advocating a legal backing to the new salary scheme approved for teachers as a way of ensuring speedy implementation. This view was espoused while discussing the state of the Nigerian teacher on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria. Ekemini Williams has details.
Reminiscing way back to 1943, when teachers were highly revered in the society and treated like heroes of national development, guests on Good Morning Nigeria decried the spate of decay in present-day teaching practice, a development they attribute to economic decline and materialistic pursuits.
About 90s, teachers were owed 13 months, 15 months, 24 months, and nothing happened. And then, politicians again added to it when they now brought quack people. Politicians were carrying papers as complimentary.
The money that we use to send people to go on pilgrimage to Mecca and Jerusalem, that is money for education. The money that governors use to build new government houses, that is money for education.
The guests agree that the new scheme will empower teachers to do better. They, however, suggested ways of rejuvenating the teaching practice in Nigeria.
The National Secondary Education Commission is a low-hanging fruit. It started for a few years and then something happened and it was aborted.
We used to have a full-time teaching practice experience where teachers will participate in all the activities of the school. It's just to get back to the 9th assembly and the two houses present it, they will concur it, and then if they now need any law to back it.
They commended President Muhammad Buhari's approval of the new scheme for teachers and advised Nigerians to use the template as a bargaining tool with state and local governments in order to guarantee speedy implementation. In Abuja, Ekemini Williams, NTA News.
You're watching Nationwide on NTA. Let's take a break. The news continues shortly.
Who applied for admission into Ahmadu Bello University NTA TV College degree program in mass communication for 2020-2021 academic session are invited to a post-UTME and direct entry screening exercise scheduled as follows. Date: 15th to 17th October 2020. Venue: NTA TV College premises, Rayfield, Jos. Time: 9 a.m. daily. Screening fee: 2,000 naira, paid through the remitter platform in any commercial bank in favor of NTA TV College, Jos. Eligible candidates are those who indicated NTA TV College as their first choice and scored 180 and above in the 2020 UTME examination. Candidates are expected to come along with the originals of their O-level certificates, JAMB slips, birth certificates, indigenship certificate and proof of payment. Direct entry candidates are expected to come along with their original diploma certificates, A-level results in addition to the other credentials mentioned above. Shortlisted candidates without O-level results will not be cleared by JAMB. Therefore, all candidates are advised to visit any JAMB office or accredited CBT center nearest to them to upload their O-level results. Wearing a face mask is compulsory for admittance into the college premises, in addition to strict observance of other COVID-19 safety protocols. Announcer, Registrar. featuring great personalities from all walks of life. Expository interview with a young TV presenter who shows passion on what she does. Morayo Afolabi Brown of TVC. Pick a copy of this compendium of mind-blowing stories and get abreast with issues as regards media convergence, leadership, health, star profiles, star programs, fashion, sports, human angle stories, and lots more. Meet some media professionals within our space who have paid their dues in no small ways. TV Guide, very incisive, very educative and compelling. Grab a copy at the vendor near you or NTA stations nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
Thanks for staying with us. Housing for all is still very crucial in the development roadmap for Nigeria. This is why October 5th every year provides a platform for review. But COVID-19 changes the mood of discourse this year. However, a virtual session was held to commemorate the 2020 World Habitat Day, leveraging on the challenges posed by COVID-19 to intensify efforts at providing more houses. Kenneth Nanim reports.
Increase in population comes with increase in demand for more houses. It's now 25 years since the United Nations have been making case for the homeless and World Habitat Day, using every first Monday of October to review efforts made and a peep to the future. The effects of COVID-19 on global economy expanded the agenda for discourse. Housing for all, a better urban future, is the central message this year. Housing deficit is a huge burden on the Nigerian government, but the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Raji Fashola, is not deterred.
Our approach to implementing our mandate is multifaceted, from house refurbishment loans to mortgages with reduced equity contributions, direct housing construction, improved speed of titling and issuance of documents. With plans to unlock unused properties, we believe that a better urban future is within our reach.
Others, in their contributions, believe an all-inclusive approach should be adopted to bridge housing deficit gap in the country. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
To the judiciary, as the National Industrial Court commences the 2020-2021 new legal year, the President of the Court, Justice Benedict Kianyip, says as the only court in the country constitutionally enjoined to apply international best practices in labor matters, the delivery of labor justice timely and humanly remains the goal of the court. The President said this in Abuja at a ceremony to usher in the new legal year. Judiciary correspondent Vera Chumba reports.
The President of the National Industrial Court, Justice Benedict Kianyip, who chronicled the achievements and proactive measures and programs put in place to promote administration of justice in the history of the 42-year-old court, said 939 decisions of the court had been uploaded in the court's website while it sat physically and virtually. He said the court is utilizing ADR Center for settling employment and labor disputes, but it tends to make it a policy thrust of the court.
We will continue to strive to attain excellence by improving on the justice delivery mechanisms allowed us by law, just so that access to justice is easy and affordable to all who require the services of the court. We do not, however, intend to compromise on the issues of discipline, transparency, and hard work.
Attorney General of the Federation, represented by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Justice, commended the court for rising above the force majeure imposed by COVID-19 pandemic in justice delivery.
The National Industrial Court has been contributing positively and effectively to the resolution of trade disputes and industrial relation matters in the country. It has also helped in rekindling foreign investors' confidence in the industrial relation stability in Nigeria.
Mr. Adegboyega Awomola, who represented the body of benchers, said the process of appointing judicial officers has manifested outright disregard for the principles of separation of power. A legal practitioner Afam Osigwe, who represented the NBA president, said achieving full independence for the judiciary will be difficult if the judiciary is not guaranteed full autonomy under the Constitution. In Abuja, Viera Chumba, NTA News.
Still on the new legal year, Ibia State Governor Okeze Ikpeazu has charged the judiciary to show greater concern and commitment in the fight against corruption. The governor gave the charge at the opening of the 2020-2021 legal year in Umuahia. Chinyere Okoli reports.
The governor, represented by his deputy Saude Okochukwu, reaffirmed that the present administration is genuinely committed to discharge its functions and obligations effectively and efficiently for the common good of all. He assured that all institutional frameworks will be strengthened to ensure that judicial officers in the state are treated with dignity and respect in line with acceptable international privileges without prejudice to the rule of law and due process. The state chief judge, Justice Onoha Arisa Ogwe, disclosed that sobriety, integrity, honesty and fairness remain the hallmark of a judicial officer.
That the judicial staff are very important. And staff responsibly charged with the task of dealing with the public for the attainment of government set objectives.
We are here to gear up towards dispensing justice in accordance with the oath of office we took.
High point of the ceremony were a special valedictory High Court section in honor of retired judges, church thanksgiving, presentation of speeches from the various branches of MBA in Ibia State. In Umuahia, Chinyere Okoli, NTA News.
And for more reports on Nationwide, let's join Chinenye in our Enugu Network Center. Nice to see you, Chinenye.
Good evening and welcome to Enugu. In spite of the setback in judicial processes by reason of the coronavirus pandemic, the Enugu State Judiciary is set to break new grounds as it opens a new legal year. State Chief Judge Justice Priscilla Emehelu stated this at the special court session to mark the opening of the 2020-2021 judicial year. Susan Eze reports that the ceremony, which began with a Thanksgiving service, had the state governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi and other members of the executive and the legislature in attendance.
The bar and the bench of the Enugu State Judiciary fill the pews of the church, seeking the face of God as agents of justice for the new legal year. Auxiliary Bishop of Enugu Diocese, Bishop Ernest Obodo, who officiated the special service, prayed God to give the judiciary the courage to dispense justice without fear or favor. To balance the governance tripod, the executive and the state legislature joined the judiciary in the activities marking the event. Governor Ugwuanyi, represented by the deputy Cecilia Ezilo, observed that the theme of the event, the legal profession post-COVID-19 virtual hearing in perspective, has become imperative in view of the challenges thrown up by the pandemic.
I hope that the new legal year will bring the much desired release to all stakeholders in justice administration in our dear state.
Though the coronavirus pandemic took its toll on the judiciary with over 2 months closure of the courts in the 2019-2020 legal year, State Chief Judge Justice Priscilla Emehelu stated that the Enugu State Judiciary is set to gain lost grounds.
I want to thank my distinguished legal luminaries for their unwavering support, for their commitment, for their dedication to duty, which have continued to ensure an efficient and effective justice delivery in the state.
The Enugu State Judiciary handled over 150,000 cases in the 2019-2020 legal year. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
64 enumerators have been trained by the National Bureau of Statistics in Enugu for the conduct of this year's National Business Sample Census Survey. Jude Abugu reports that the training was put together by the Bureau with support from the World Bank.
The enumeration exercise, which takes the survey of economic activities of formal and informal establishments in the country, their contact details and number of employees, according to the Statistician General of the Federation, was last conducted in the country between 1998 to 1999. This, he said, was short of the United Nations Statistical Commission's recommendation that economic survey be conducted every 5 years.
Information emanating from the census activity is primarily useful in understanding the nature and the structure of the Nigerian economy, as well as providing a sound business frame for the conduct of economic surveys in the country.
Other guests at the opening ceremony who admonished the participants against misconduct emphasized the import of the exercise.
You see, for you to be able to plan and budget for a state, you need to have the required data, the required statistics.
The enumerators were acquainted with the methodological framework for the exercise, the feedback from the pilot study, categories of businesses to be enumerated, and field work procedures. The National Bureau of Statistics has the mandate to produce, disseminate, and coordinate official statistics in Nigeria, and the exercise will impact positively on the nation's macroeconomic objectives. In Enugu, Jude Abugu,